guys. Welcome to the podcast, Mr. Timothy O'Neill. What's up, buddy?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm great. Good
It's
to
good to
see
see
you.
you.
You too, man. It's been a while.
It has been a while. Geez Louise, like, how long has it been?
Well, we did those gigs, I think, in 2015, but I know I saw you guys again, gigging again.
Yeah, it's probably been like at least 3 or 4 years, right? Since we've seen each other.
Well, I hadn't actually lived there since 2016, but I came back briefly in 2017. I don't know. It's
Okay.
hard to remember sometimes, but
Yeah, no kidding.
I always
Still-
enjoyed living in Sonoma County, man. The local music scene is great, and
Yeah,
yes.
it is. It's very unique, and it breeds a lot of great musicians, even such as yourself, and countless
man.
others.
Yeah, you too. And I mean, you kind of grew up there, right? You're born and raised, or
Actually, no. I was ironically, I was born at Stanford Hospital up here in Northern California. But then when I was a baby, my parents and I moved to San Diego. And I grew up in Temecula in like Riverside County.
okay.
And then I came up north to go to college at Sonoma State and ended up minoring in music and majoring in philosophy. And then you can't really make any money with a philosophy degree unless you go the law route. So I decided to go to my calling and, play music.
Oh, so damn. So you grew up in Southern California.
Yeah, do I need to go hold it again?
No, I'm not. I'm from Wisconsin, so I don't have the same,
There's great parts of Southern California, but it gets a bad rap sometimes.
Right. So were you like a beach kid, or were you like?
No, those were like the cool kids. I was like the guy playing electric guitar wearing bondage pants with a mohawk.
So you're like the punk rock kid trying to keep the scene alive, like
I mean, and then even then, kind of looking back on it, kind of poser-ish, because it was like the real punks were into like Crass and the Dead Kennedys, which I love, but I was more into like Bad Religion and NoFX. So we were kind of looked at as like the hip punks. So we were kind of the punkers.
I was the same way, but I was in like pop punk. It was like
and don't get me wrong, I love the whole
Day,
spectrum.
Rancid. And,
Absolutely. Yeah.
But,
actually, funny enough, or not funny enough, but we just, it was the 25th anniversary of Dookie this last year.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And do you remember Shane Schlick and Taylor James from the Highway Poets or Hillside Fire? Do you remember them?
I remember the Highway Poets. I haven't actually met them, but
okay. Well, two of those dudes who were absolutely wonderful musicians, and I performed Dookie front to back at a little club in Petaluma, actually, about 6 months ago. It was really cool. So the whole thing, like, front to back, including the secret song, and then we played some specials at the end, like Brain Stew and Nice Guys Finished Last and stuff. But
dude,
it was really
classic.
It was fun to put on the electric guitar and kind of get back into that pop punk funness.
Yeah, and it's that different, punk rhythm. So you're on just palm muting and power chord.
Yeah, or just like full Billy Joe strum, where it's just.
And you were singing his parts.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, it was a 3-piece. So it was like I was Billy Joe, our bassist, who's absolutely incredible. Really, really embodied Mike Dirnt. Like he had the exact same bass.
Basket case.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I was like, it's funny when giving Green Day that kind of like slide, like, oh, they're just simple pop punk, which I've done for years. Even liking them, you think they're just kind of simple, but learning that whole record front to back gave all of us a real eye-opening to how talented they really are, especially with Billy's songwriting.
Well, and they really got more diverse even after that.
Warning was a great record.
Yeah, the one with the Misery song. That's got
Misery's great.
I love that song, man. That kind of turned me on to stuff.
Yeah,
I felt like that introduced me to folk before I could appreciate it or something.
I think we might have had the same experience with that, because I started hearing some of those acoustic songs and I was like, coming from a punk rock background and then seeing what can be done with that same element but acoustically was so interesting.
Yeah, because it had like the same feel as his other songs, but just acoustic guitars. It even has like accordion on that song.
Yeah.
It could have been punk rock if he just did it the
sped it
rock
up
way. Yeah, exactly. But that's cool.
I was reading an interview with Billy Joe that said he regrets the way that was recorded because it was their first album using Pro Tools.
Oh,
and
really?
so they didn't really know how to get the sound that they were both going for, or the the engineer and the band. And I mean, for us as listeners, I think it was a smash hit and awesome. I love that record with all my heart, especially Misery. That's funny. But yeah, it was interesting. He said that was kind of, he wanted it to turn out a little bit different, but considering the fact that Pro Tools was so new, it was difficult for him to kind of like really sculpt it the way he wanted it to come out.
Maybe it kind of like polished it up too much, or I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, I love the title track, you know, too. This is a public fair. Yeah.
Yeah. The whole out, or Macy's Day Parade is the end of that, right?
Oh yeah. That's classic.
And that song was incredible.
Minority.
Yeah, the whole album is really good. The 2 times I've seen them, they lit their drum set on fire at the end to Macy's Day Parade. So it's they lit the drum set on fire, and Billy Joe just closes it out with Macy's Day Parade while the drum set was on fire.
See, I actually haven't seen them since like way back in the day, but it was pretty cool to see them when they were still in that kind of Insomniac.
Oh yeah.
No. It was a little later. I probably saw them it was by Warning. I saw them like when I was 15 or 16, something like that. But every time I'm almost 35. Are you the same?
Dude, I just turned 35.
Yeah, I'm 35 in like 2 weeks, dude.
Yeah. So we've got all the same concerts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I saw them, I think the first time 15, and then because I saw them at Warped Tour, and yet each time they always bring someone on. Yeah, it was Warped Tour. This was a Chicago one.
Oh, okay.
I grew up in Wisconsin, and then I saw them at this place, The Rave in Milwaukee. And each time they bring someone on stage, and they did the the Op Ivy. All I know is that I don't know.
It's bad when you can't get the top off the bottom of the barrel. Yeah.
They still do that? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, what's that song called?
Knowledge.
What is it called?
Knowledge. All I know is that I
Knowledge. Yeah. Thank you. I was like, it's one word that, and they don't. Okay. Op Ivy, man, talk about a blast from the past. I love those guys.
Well, it's like Billy Joel wrote that Radio song by Rancid.
What?
Yeah, he
radio.
At least co-wrote it. He might have wrote the whole thing.
No way.
Yeah,
I can see that. That's
ironic. Like, that was almost like Rancid was starting to kind of shape into that little poppier punk sound.
Right. They were gathering traction.
Out Come the Wolves, and just everything.
Oh God, that album's incredible.
Hell yeah.
So have you? That's so funny. Have you read the NoFX book?
No, probably bits and pieces, but no, not what's it called? Fucking Up for 10 years or?
Yeah, or it's like 10 years of Fucking Up, I think, is their video, but they have it might be 20 years of Fucking Up or something like that. But long story short, one of the chapters, it's basically it's all written, different chapters are written by different members of the band. And it kind of reads like The Dirt by Motley Crue. I guess that's what inspired it. Oh, cool. And they tell this story about how they stole a car in their early days in Berkeley, and there was some kid in the back of it. And so they kicked in the doors. They stole the car and then realized there was a kid in the back of it. And so they freaked out. So they got out and they kicked the doors in so the kid couldn't get out. And the kid was Billy Joe Armstrong.
What?
Yeah. I might be twisting some of the minor details, but something like that.
That's dude. And that's a fucking all three of those bands are San Francisco, right? They're all fucking Bay Area.
Rancid's Bay Area. Yeah. NoFX is probably Bay Area. Yeah.
And that's how I think Green Day and Rancid were connected. They were both coming up in the local scene.
Playing Berkeley.
NoFX was a little ahead of them, but ultimately,
right.
Rancid and Green Day.
They got a NoFX. Oh, dude, I love that band. I love all three of those bands.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's see, that's where we're already getting into huge influences. Yeah, I grew up on a lot of that shit, especially high school.
What were your big influences?
Well, it's funny because it was I kind of grew up in a pretty diverse town, and our middle school, high school, the trend was more hip hop and R&B
Oh, cool.
was the most. I was actually super into hip hop in middle school, and then I like flipped, dyed my hair blue, and became like a punk rock in high school. That's basically, so it was like Tupac and Bone Thugs.
We were all finding our identity, you know?
Yeah, and then it was like temporarily, I was like, before I got really into punk, it was like the rap rock, you know?
Right.
Limp
Like,
Bizkit and
Limp Bizkit.
and rock and
yeah.
horrible ICP.
Yeah, holy moly. That's so funny.
And it's like some of that shit, you know, you got nostalgia connected to all of it, but like even out of gangster rap, there's stuff that I can actually like, okay, there's like decent stuff, like what's the best? Same with pop punk, you know, it's
looking back now, like when we were we're clearly the same age, when we were like jaded young kids, we'd be like, oh man, fuck Blink-182. And now I look back, I'm like, Blink-182 is really good. Like, yeah. And they were fun for what it was worth. It's like if you wanted a political message or polyrhythms or really, really intense guitar parts, this is not the band that you want to listen to. But they have something to offer, you know. Well, and it's like when you're a kid, you're like, fuck that band. And now it's like, I'm like, that band is pretty good. Even something like Limp Bizkit, I'm like, yeah, there's a reason people like them so much. I wouldn't.
That one's a little hard for me. Yes. That was hard to actually listen to their hits and be like, why did I like? I don't know, but you know,
someone put on Nookie the other day, and I was just like, this is still as bad as I thought it was when I was like 14 or 15. That's funny. But still, they did it right, and they sold well, and they're still touring stadiums in like Germany. So fuck it.
Yeah, no, more power to them. You know, it's all music's all someone's fucking taste. You know,
and Wes Borland's a fucking crazy bastard with art. Like the way he like not only dresses up, but he does like a bunch of different visual art as well. He's cool.
Hell yeah. Yeah. So, we had a really cool like kind of punk scene or like bands in our high school. There was like almost 6 or 8 bands of just
really
doing basement shows and doing the battle for the bands. Or do you guys have anything like that? Or
we did.
Outcast or
what's that?
Were you kind of the outcast, or was there much of a punk scene?
Well, we were being in Riverside County in the 90s. There was definitely a punk scene, more than I can say for most of the other people that I meet that grew up in different areas.
Right.
There were probably like you're saying, like under 10 punk bands. Some of them were a little more crusty, but we all hung out together. And actually, speaking of early punk shows, we played with TSOL and 2 other kind of smaller bands at a roller rink. But they cleared the roller rink out and made it a stage.
That's fucking cool.
And then it was just kind of like a pit. And an opening band played, my band played, and then the third band that was opening for TSOL went on. Yeah. And there was this guy that I always hated. I'm not going to say his name. It's Alex. But I'm not going to say his last name. But he was always kind of the showboat and would like, I've seen him like, basically what he did, long story short, is he put down his expensive guitar and at the end of the show picked up a cheap guitar to smash it, which he hadn't even thought to play one song for the show. So like the audience wasn't fooled very well.
Not the last song.
So he's smashing the guitar on the stage, and I just look over at my buddy standing right next to me, like his head, my head. Oh. And I look over and he's just pouring blood. And a piece of the guitar had flown off and hit him in the head. And I was like, oh my God, Alan, like what, like, so pouring blood. I like sit him down. Holy and then shit. That guitarist had to go and pay for him to get driven to like the urgent care, the hospital, and then get stitches. I was like, yeah, super punk rock, dude. You idiot.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So did they let you use the roller skating lights for the show?
Oh yeah, no, we had lighting. And there was a guy in the corner as well that was just like flipping the switches. So it was like
strobe light effects. Oh, those and then the fucking those floors there, they're like extra slippery, so you're probably like moshing and falling.
I think they had like some sort of like giant cover that they put on the whole thing. Just like if it wasn't used for like a week or something. And then I can't quite remember actually, but yeah, you would think it would have been a lot more slippery.
Right, because they even because they wax it to make your skates,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, if you drop on skates, you slide, because you're like a little bit.
Right. That's cool.
Dude, funny enough, the last part about that scene, and then we can close this chapter, was we used to play this place called The Shack in Temecula, and it was literally just what it sounds like. It was like kind of an abandoned house. I don't even think there was power. There was just people would bring a generator, but there was shelter. And, you squeeze like 75 people in a room that would fit like 15 comfortably, maybe. And so we played there a bunch of times with this band called Kettle Cadaver.
Okay.
They're weird.
Nice name. I like it.
Yeah, and they were super hardcore. They were a lot older than us. Like when we were in high school, they were still performing at high school battle of the bands because the criteria was to only have one band member in the band that was in high school. But the singer was like 38.
My God.
Which isn't old. We're both 30, almost 35. But like to be going back and playing in high school bands at Battle of the Bands, it's like, and he had like tattoos on the side of his head with a mohawk. He was pretty intimidating.
We were like actively trying to get a member who's like young enough too.
Yeah. Really trying to reach out.
I got to appeal to this young crowd, man.
Yeah. So like the last show I saw of them was the lead singer. I won't say his name, but his name's Edwin. But so the last time I saw him, Edwin brought a coyote carcass on stage, a real dead coyote carcass.
Holy shit.
It was skinned, and he had an electric, one of those, like what your grandpops is cutting the turkey with on Thanksgiving, like an electric.
Oh, yeah. Knife. Yeah.
And he had like adhered that to like a strap on.
What the fuck?
And continued to do some pretty dirty things to the dog. This was at the high school Battle of the Bands.
What the
The cops were called. They shut it down. It was brutal. Okay, so
does this affect not having them anymore, or just that guy?
No, the cops are just like, we're gonna arrest you if you don't get all your shit off stage. Everyone get out of here. This is ridiculous. And so,
oh my God, I wish there was video of this.
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
Cut to
Kettle Cadaver. Dude, go for it. We'll give him more promo. He's probably still playing high school joints. Oh, geez. I'm sorry, Edwin, if you're listening to this.
He'd be 73 now. Or no.
But the next time so catapult to 10 years later, I'm like 28 or something, and I'm just sitting watching Gangland on TV. Nice. You ever watch that?
Yeah.
It's everything between MS-13, white supremacists, black ninjas, whatever. And they're like, it's like Temecula, California. And I was like, what? And they're like, an incident at the Shack. And it's the same, or what local punkers called the Shack.
The Shack's still going.
It was at a Kettle Cadaver show at the Shack. Some unfortunate African-American boy got fucking his arm cut off or tried to be severed, like was jumped by a bunch of skinheads or Nazis or fucking assholes or something, which is a horrible way to close this chapter. But that's the last time I heard about the Shack or Temecula. I was like, yikes.
Holy shit. So that was like 7 years ago or something? Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Crazy. So
here's to Kettle Cadaver.
And the Shack. We had a place called the Garage, very similar to the Shack. So
right.
So yeah, when did you start playing guitar? Did you start on electric, or you do the
well, my mom was a pretty good enforcer of the music. She sang music in the 60s in a folk, like, kind of string band. and then eventually became a flight attendant, and my dad, blah, blah, blah. But she had an FG-180, a Yamaha FG-180 6-string and a Yamaha FG-280 12-string.
Oh, nice. From
her time growing up in the 60s. And she gave them to me as a kid, but I didn't really know how to play. And so she bought me like an electric piano, like one of the nice ones in like the 90s, like with weighted keys, full 88 keys, weighted. and cool. I took piano lessons for it was like $2,000 or something. And
shoo!
And I mean, she was a single mom. I still have it. Like, she was a single mother. Like, it was pretty instrumental in getting the ball rolling for playing music in the future. So I started with piano for years.
And you were how old? Like 8, 10?
Yeah, actually, probably 8. Yeah,
8. Cool, right on.
Yeah, and then probably right around I don't know. When do you get in middle school? Like 10?
Like 11 to 13. Yeah. Kind of.
Okay. That's like the first time my dad, or the first concert I ever went to was my dad took me to see the Rolling Stones at Jack Murphy Stadium, San Diego. Padres, go Padres. It was the Rolling Stones on the Bridges to Babylon tour with Santana opening.
Holy shit, dude! You're 10?
I mean,
or 11.
Or something like that. I mean, whenever the Bridges to Babylon tour was.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah. But I just remember, like, going to see them and being like, I wish I had known more of the Rolling Stones catalog or Santana's catalog, because I was kind of just, like, lost in the wind. Like, I've seen the Stones and I've seen Santana technically, but, like, I remember the concert, but I didn't know the songs before they played them.
Yeah, and even just to know, like, have one or two that you're, like, really kind of, really
Dude,
have a feeling about.
Here's
that makes it different. You didn't even know, like, you can't always get what you want yet or something?
Dude, here's how dumb I was. So I'm like, okay, someone has to turn this into a comedy bit or something, but it's basically, the song Pour Some Sugar on Me by, what is that, Poison or Def Leppard or something?
I think it's Def Leppard, yeah. Yep.
Okay, Pour some sugar on me. And then there's a song by the Rolling Stones called Brown Sugar.
Yeah.
How come you make me feel so good?
Right.
So I thought that the Rolling Stones did Pour Some Sugar on Me. So when my dad was like, do you want to go see the Rolling Stones? I was like, obviously. I want to see them play Pour Some Sugar on Me. So the whole time through Santana's set, I'm like, I just can't wait till the Stones come out and play Pour Some Sugar on Me. And then the Stones get there, and they're playing probably the best concert I've ever seen, but don't really remember. And I'm like, when are they going to play the Sugar song? And my dad's like, this is the Sugar song. And it was Brown Sugar. And I was like, this is not the Sugar song.
How long did it take you to figure it out?
Probably 4 or 5 years.
Oh, shit. You're like, wait a second. This isn't the right.
Probably 2 years. I was like,
right, so you actually got into both.
Yeah. And I'm able to laugh at myself like, you're an idiot.
Oh, shit. That's funny, dude.
Yeah. Oops,
this is the right Sugar song, man. There's
I was like, this is the wrong Sugar song.
Wow. Huh. That might be a first for the Stones. Get mistaken for Def.
Yeah, no shit, right. It's actually the first time I smelled marijuana too. The guys in front of us literally had a bag of doobies. And this is like the 90s.
Yeah.
So it was like pretty frowned upon. And I just remember sitting behind him, and my dad was like, my dad does not smoke at all. Straight laced. He's a naval captain. Might have like one scotch on the rocks a month. Like, and he's a great guy. But I was like, what's that smell, Dad? And he's like, that's marijuana. And at rock concerts, sometimes people smoke marijuana. And I was like, in hindsight, I was like, you're fucking awesome, Dad.
It's like, it comes with the territory.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. He's like, don't you fucking do it till you're 18 or something, but
Yeah, I actually, one of my first concerts was actually Skynyrd, and it's like the version of Skynyrd. And I think I knew I knew Tuesday's Gone probably from Happy Gilmore.
Right.
And like that was like enough. Yeah, it was a similar experience. Like I smelled weed, and I think I probably tried it later.
Yeah,
I tried it pretty early, but yeah. 12
yeah. When did you first start smoking?
I mean, I probably tried it when I was 12 or 13, and probably a little more consistently like 15, 16. By the time you get a car, then you
can actually go pick it up
or smoke in your car. Just
but, your car is like your fucking sanctuary. You're just like, this is my personal space.
Well, yeah. What about you? I mean, was it kind of like more prevalent in the Cali thing, or
it was, but like for some reason I caught on late. And when I say late, I mean like 16 or something. Right. It was like even when we were earlier on in high school, when we were doing band practice, we'd like sneak beers or shots from our parents, or like take a little bit of each bottle and put it in a water bottle and think we're cool. So we were drinking before we were smoking, but then all my friends started smoking weed. And like I had this like don't do drugs mentality, but like still totally drink and smoke cigarettes as like a 14 or 15-year-old. Right. That's totally fine, but don't do drugs. This marijuana is gonna fuck your whole life up.
And just like realize one day you're like, oh, I don't know.
All my friends were just like, dude, just try it. I was like, no, man, I don't do drugs. Like one of those things. And so I finally went to Colorado and hung out with my brother, and he got me stoned off my tits. I was hired in turkey shit in a hot air balloon, dude. Nice. It was fucking gigantic. And then I was like, I need more of this. So he gave me a little bit, and I duct taped it and sprayed it in perfume, and then duct taped it and strapped it to my nuts, and then flew back from Colorado to California, allegedly.
This is pretty ballsy at 16. So then it was like, that's funny. You had to leave California and try to Colorado.
And then
you come back, you're like, yeah, guys, I'm stoner now.
Yeah. Well, and they were like, kind of like, fuck you. And I was like, yeah, well, I did bring this weed. And they're like, okay, cool. No, right on. Let's get, okay, cool. You passed the test.
When you're young, that's all it takes. Oh, we get stoned now.
It was like the first time I think we had all really smoked great weed. It was like from someone older in my family that gave it to me. And I was just like, oh, I'll take this home. And people were like, what the fuck is this? Like, the crystals have crystals.
Well, it's such a like, man, you just get so much higher. I call it like baby stoner.
Right.
The day. And that's what, or you could just get the swaggy stuff and get ripped.
Yeah.
Almost like a psychedelic experience or something back in the day.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's funny how that whole market and game has changed. You know, there's a great comedian out there, Tom Segura. He's already said.
Oh yeah, he's awesome.
Oh, you know Segura. He says like, one day I'm gonna have to tell my kid like, I almost died buying weed, and he's gonna be like, what, was 7-Eleven on fire or something?
Exactly.
Like, no, man, I had to get
through the window.
Yeah, I had to get in a car with like people who were dangerous and go see men that I didn't know in bad parts of town.
Yeah. That's a good point, man. That's how it creates violence in itself. But
how's it out on the East Coast?
Vermont is legal. It's been legal since the summer of 2018, and man, we got a great land. And they're not doing the dispensaries. Like first they passed it, they didn't want to, but now all in time they're gonna probably have them. But I'm just so you can grow your own. I do like big greenhouses, and dude, I literally grew enough for the whole year. So I'm like,
oh, fucking killer, dude.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cali seeds,
Oh, there you go.
Because I had a lot, or I still do. I have a lot of friends like in the Mendocino County too, and
okay, yeah.
They've showed me the hippie ways and
the triangle.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, dude, I've seen some of those documentaries on, I don't know if it's Netflix or HBO or one of those streaming services. It's like Death Mountain and shit, and it's like,
oh, I saw that. Yeah, I think it was Netflix.
Is that in any way accurate? It seemed a little blown out of like proportion to me. So I've been up on the hill once or twice trimming, but
honestly, it could be. I mean, things can be exaggerated, but that would be the place where some shit like that would happen, man. Because like you're dealing with real outlaw people.
Yeah.
Who could and you're in the middle of nowhere, and
there's like two cops and like one sheriff for like the whole
county or I don't know. It's law enforcement's very limited, and you just get so back up on these like roads that aren't even on like GPS and
right.
That's how the majority of them do it. But I got friends out there. They've been out there a really long time, like from the 70s and whatnot. And now that the legal stuff is it's like taxed 50%.
Right.
Now a lot of people are going back to the black market, but at the same time, when it went legal, a lot of people who came in just to grow left. So I don't know. It fluctuates. It's kind of like There's dire.
It's a roller coaster.
But some sketchy, creepy shit could happen like that. I mean, there's parts in Vermont very similar, but honestly, like Vermont's so small. Like some of the counties of California are bigger than Vermont. Like literally.
Yeah, I mean,
Small
I do know where you are located and roughly how large your state is. Are you bordering Connecticut?
No. I'm I'm actually like 12 miles from. I'm like 12 miles from Canada. New Hampshire is directly east of us, then Maine, then the coast.
Okay.
Below us is Massachusetts.
Okay.
And then Connecticut's below Massachusetts. So
yeah.
But they are so small that it's kind of it's New England as a whole.
Yeah.
And
how large do you think your state is, like from north to south?
Like
to drive it.
Like literally 200 miles.
200?
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
So that's like, what is that on the 101? Like a couple counties, maybe 1 or 2 counties.
Yeah, I mean, shit. Where would we be, Sean? Like
you could drive through the whole thing in 4 hours.
I mean, Fresno's not more than 200 miles. Yeah, it's like San Francisco to Fresno.
If you think about it, like when they first started making the states here and things weren't as developed, like everything was just naturally smaller, and then like
and there weren't like that many.
And the more you go west, the states just like they just get bigger and slightly less populated, with the exception of California. Like California just became its own.
Plus, we were just taking land from Mexico at that point, so we were like, we want more.
Exactly. Yeah, crazy shit.
That's my favorite part about going down south or to Southern California again. Is people are just like, damn Mexicans. I was like, yeah, this is Mexico. Like,
and you have
we took this.
It's spoiled with fucking Spanish food, Mexican food.
Yeah,
I love that vibe. I like that.
It's part of my favorite part of the California culture, dude. And I'm not just talking about burritos. The kind of like Texarkana or Mexarkana, like, or what do they call it?
It's like a Southwestern sort of.
Yeah. It's like a nice little gumbo of like Mexican culture, American culture, kind of a lot of other cultures, because California is a coastal place and has such large coastal cities like San Francisco and San Diego.
Well, and it's like, even though there are people, whatever, kind of complaining, I feel like Southern California is a lot cooler than like Arizona. You know what I'm saying?
I would agree. Yeah.
There's that little northern part of Arizona they say is cool, the Flagstaff. But,
Dude, we were talking a little bit before the show, or before we started, and writing stuff down. Dude, Arizona, I don't want to piss off the whole state or Phoenix in particular, but fuck Phoenix, dude.
Dude, it's one of the few states I've ever been to. I'm like, I'm not going there. Fuck that. Bad experience.
It's gorgeous, but like we pulled in, we're touring with Frankie Boots in the county line, and we pulled in off the road. I was driving. It was like a 4-hour drive, which actually isn't bad, but the sun was going down, and the thermometer said that it was 98 degrees.
Holy
and I was like, not the band or anything, but I was like, okay, 98 degrees. Awesome. And then as the sun goes down, the thermometer goes 99, and then the sun goes further down and goes 100, and then the sun completely sets and it says 101. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here, dude? Is this defying physics? Like, you're not supposed, once the sun goes down, it's supposed to get cooler, goddammit. Like,
that's how the one time I went to Vegas, that's how it was. And hotter at night. You know, actually Louisiana was like that too, but
yeah, Louisiana.
My fan actually overheated.
But isn't that moisture or
the humidity? Because that's the kind of thing, you get that dry heat in like Arizona or Vegas, but
yeah,
you still get hot as balls, man. Like you stick your hand out the window at night and it feels like a heat lamp.
Yeah, it's all gross.
Yeah.
But what about like wet sheets? And I'm not talking about pissing the bed. You ever? We used to wash our sheets, but then like just put them in the dryer for half the time so they were damp. And then like if you didn't have air conditioning where you were, so you kind of like have a little bit of like more, and it would be dry within 30 minutes or something.
No, I never really did that. I probably just didn't use a dryer and let them hang out. Or I just didn't wash them.
Yeah.
All right, let's get on some No, I don't know.
What about the
when did you
New Orleans flash beers? Do you remember those? Or at least Frankie taught me those, where you take a beer and you just wrap it in a paper towel and then wet the paper towel and then put it in the freezer.
Oh yeah,
so,
I do that. Keep it colder.
Yeah, an ice koozie.
That's a good way to get a beer cold quick.
I really like that you're taking a pot hit on this podcast. It makes me feel better.
I pretty much do it on every one, except for I had one of my buddies. He's like, he teaches violin at Webster in St. Louis. And
what?
Really? Yeah, dude. He's a crazy violinist. He throws a festival in Italy every summer with jazz and classical musicians. And
damn.
But
does he want to come out to California and not make a lot of money and play violin for me?
Well, see, that's kind of the funny thing. I'm one of the few guys who'll actually do that for, because we're such good friends. you gotta be his friend, man. Just become his friend. But he's a busy guy for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into how did the motherfucking TOB start? Were you kind of doing your own solo thing in Sonoma County first and building up?
I was doing after we did the punk. Yeah. After we did I was playing punk rock in Southern California, moved up to Sonoma County to go to college, and then right around the end of my college,
did you go right after high school, 18? 19?
Yeah. Yeah. I wish I had taken a year. I think it could have been valuable to kind of assess what. That's a whole other story, a whole other podcast.
I took 17.
Yeah. And so, I put out I started recording with one of my best friends in college. He was an engineer, and I wanted to just make a solo record because coming from Southern California and dealing with a lot of punk rock and being immersed in a punk rock scene, and then coming up to Sonoma County, and once again, LA, Orange County, Riverside. And then you come up to Sonoma County where it's rolling hills, there's cows, grapes, agriculture everywhere. The coast is right there, and it's not some shitty beach. No offense to some Southern California beaches, which I will not name.
It's mountainous cliffs and fucking
it's just it's the kind of stuff that people from other countries save, or even other states save up their entire lives to come visit.
Yeah.
It's literally something out of a Kerouac novel. Literally, it is. I mean, it's written in Kerouac novels. And so it started influencing me more to folk and a little bit of acoustic stuff. And then, ironically, a lot of the punk bands that I was listening to at the time, like Bad Religion, NoFX, Lagwagon in particular, those guys that were starting, like Joey Cape, Greg Graffin, were starting to release solo records that were kind of folky and acoustic-y, and they would take their punk rock songs and slow it down and then replace the guitar solo with a mandolin solo, or replace the raging drum part with a little bit of small percussion and a chuck on a mandolin or a banjo twang.
Right.
It was really cool to see what people who were playing what I used to play now are kind of moving towards. And then I kind of naturally, I guess, jumped that bandwagon and released my first solo record in 2008, which is called Hangovers in the Hospital.
So did you graduate college 2007 then? So right after? Or still in college?
Dude,
we graduated 2003 in high school.
Right. You and I did?
Yep.
That's right. Okay. By the way, do you know about our 90s years that coincide with our grades?
No, or I don't think
what grade were you in 1995?
Fifth. Yeah.
It coincides. So 1999.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Oh, when you were in first grade.
Oh, that's a good way. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, so 2003, 18. Yeah, that makes sense.
Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of cool. I don't know. Something that works in my brain.
I never thought about it like that. That's cool.
Yeah. Dude, I figured it out in second grade. I was like, this is amazing. I don't
have to think about this anymore.
Yeah.
I just know what the year it is.
What grade are you in? What year is it? But yeah, so I released that probably right around the time of graduation.
Okay.
Or at least pressed it right around graduation. But then I didn't really do anything with that. Like I just pressed it and then kept working jobs to kind of pay off student debts.
Right.
Because God knows that.
But you were like, so you'd like spent college, you're going to classes, but you're like getting the Sonoma vibe. So it kind of like built up into this first CD.
Right.
Because and a lot of a slow process of kind of switching to the folk a little. Or?
Yeah, I think by the time I was leaving high school, I had kind of migrated to the acoustic guitar, just because at the end of high school, like with the band, we all knew we were going separate ways. Mm-hmm. Our drummer was pretty bummed out about it, and
oh damn,
he stayed home. And eventually, unfortunately, he took his life. But yeah, I mean, no, he's a great man, but not to get downer, but it's like we could all feel the end of the band. So I was like, I'm not going to stop playing music. So I need to figure this out myself. And that's when I actually picked up that original FG 180 from my mom.
Oh, okay.
And started playing it. It had just been sitting in the closet. I kind of went from piano to electric guitar, and then like digressed to acoustic, and then all through the first couple years of college, started writing that first album or trying to learn how to write acoustically. Right. I put out like a 5-song EP, but it was absolute horseshit. And then I'll never let that see the light of day. But the first LP, Hangovers and Hospitals, is really good.
Well, it's kind of like when you're doing the punk thing so much, it's almost like you could easily just like turn a punk song into the acoustic version of it.
Absolutely.
That almost sounds like folk or singer-songwriter. Yeah. But to really like get into the folk vibe, it's almost like takes a little more, I don't know, because
I mean, I'm still
just going power chord to full chord in a sense is kind of a big at the time.
And then there's the rhythm, and then there's like the melody that you want to accompany those chord progressions with, and then more importantly the actual chord progression. It's like I'm still learning, like, if you're playing a 1-4-5 progression, like the minor 2 would be great for a bridge, or like I'm still wrapping my head around like a lot of that kind of stuff. Luckily I was fortunate enough to study a little bit of music, so I understand that from my college and high school experience. And I also sang choir in middle school, high school, and all 5 years of college.
Oh, no shit. Right on, dude. Yeah, you got a great voice, man. You have like a kind of theatrical voice in a sense.
Yeah, well, my brother actually sings opera professionally as well.
No shit. How is he older
or? He's 1 year younger.
He lives in Philly?
Mm-hmm.
I love Philadelphia, man.
Go Eagles.
So like with the old school, the one where you sang, were you guys like kind of holding the bass down or what?
Mm-hmm. So there were 3 basses, 2 tenors, and not everyone could go on the trip. So it was like there were like 3 basses, 3 tenors, and I was a baritone. So it's like right in between. They actually call them tweeners.
Right on.
And they're actually really difficult notes to hit because everyone else has kind of typicals. It's like, this will be the bass, this will be the tenor, this will be the alto and the soprano for the ladies, and then I'm stuck hitting like a minor 6th or something.
You're almost doing like the harmony notes.
And like even some of those guys and gals are already doing the appropriate harmonies, then I'm doing something completely
They're doing the standard ones of the chord and what have you, and you're doing
I'm doing like some weird note to a leading tone so the minor 7th can resolve or something. Yeah, it's weird.
But that's like awesome. Is that when you kind of like really started singing, or you're just kind of like punk rock singing before? And that's probably really, really awesome training and learning experience.
Absolutely. And I mean the vocal people, anyone who says like I can't sing, it's like you might not be able to sing very well, but like everyone can kind of sing. It's just the more and more you're exposed to, I don't want to use the word discipline because I don't think of myself as a very disciplined person, but like kind of disciplining your vocal cords by just at least working on them every day. Maybe not in some regiment or faction or like some crazy way that is formulated, but just by going to choir practice and doing the vocal drills and just making sure those pipes are still working.
Yeah, to keep a consistency. And I think, a lot of people just naturally sing when they're, listening to a song they like. And
sure. Yeah.
What I like kind of, I'm just doing through a lot of trial and error, learned stuff that I realize if you just kind of just focus on really, individual notes or syllables, I think that's one of the best things to really kind of like.
Absolutely.
Because like that's how anyone can sing. Like if you can imitate a melody, which most people can, just focus on what are you actually doing per syllable. It's just
right.
That's you could do it like very softly if that's easier to sing, or
right.
Because I used to have a problem with every time I'd really try to belt it out or sing soulful, that's when I'd go flat or sing out of tune. Like on those,
that's interesting because I have the complete opposite. Like if I'm approaching a note and it's a little high in my range, if I can't project a lot, then I'll fall flat. If that makes sense.
So you don't do like much. Yeah, you're not like a falsetto or like a.
I don't have a very, very large falsetto range. I've got like a woo, but like not much.
Yeah,
like,
but
I wouldn't.
Like I said, you got this like theatric, like really awesome storytelling thing, and
thank
cool.
you, man.
It's like,
that means a lot. Well,
it's full. You got a very full voice. I like that.
Thank you. Well, my mama gave it to me.
There you go.
But yeah, maybe at the end of this, I'll send you a couple videos of 2 new songs or something like that.
Oh hell yeah! Right on.
Does that work?
Yeah, for sure. Send me all you can, man.
I met up in Willits, and he made. Yeah, you know Willits, right?
I know Willits. Yes.
We all do this. But he was nice enough I gave him a free CD, and he eventually contacted me and was interested in making a music video. And he made one for a song I have. If I can do a shameless promo, it's called. Just hold on.
What's the guy's name? If you remember that. Yeah.
That's kind of where his name is Quinn. I just don't want to screw this up. Well, oh Jesus. Well, the song is called Let It Rain, and it's on YouTube. If you look up Let It Rain by Timothy O'Neill Band, it's by Quinn. It's animated. It's really cool.
Oh, I think I might have. When did you put it out? I might have caught it
6 months ago, maybe.
Did you have like a clip of it on Facebook or something? Or?
Yeah.
I think I probably saw it. Yeah. So it's like he did this animation
that corresponds with the song,
and it's like digital animation. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that would be
yeah. And so he this kind of wraps around us talking about monetizing from YouTube. He was nice enough to put that on his YouTube channel, and after that got like a certain amount of views. I don't want to like throw anyone financially under the bus or anything, but he was like able to, give me a little bit of dough, like nothing to like, it's not going to put a comma in my bank account or anything, but a couple $100-$200 here for just, So I imagine if Rogan, which is considered like, probably the largest podcast in the world, right? Undoubtedly.
Well, they say he's up there. It's what's that guy? He's just that goofy actor.
Mark Maron, maybe?
No, it's Dax Shepard. He has the most popular one.
Really?
I don't think he has a video one. He might, but I
think that cute little blondes.
Yep.
They're a cute couple too. Like I like them both.
Yeah, they're California people.
I've never even heard of it.
Me neither. Well, I think it's like, we're probably into this kind of like, I don't know, stoner conspiracy comedian podcast thing.
Right.
That's what I'm into. And the thing is, there's not a whole lot of musicians who do it. So I almost felt like it's almost untouched territory. And
you were totally 100% correct.
And it seems like an obvious thing to do. I already have all these tools for like other stuff I do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And this is like my awesome vocal mic I use for recording. So.
I like it. What kind of mic is that? You're going to say something and I'm going to pretend like I know what it is.
Well, no, this is actually what I got it. They said it was like one of the best, like almost imitating a really good studio mic. And it's a
cool.
MXL 910. I don't know.
Sounds great from here, Vermont.
It's not actually coming through the computer.
No, I know that was a joke.
Okay. I'm great at this. All right, hopefully. No.
So
let's let's get back to the TOB. So let's check out that video. Let It Rain. Quinn.
Quinn. Oh yeah, maybe you can try and toss that in or something like with your magical editing skills.
Just a little bit of it. But
yeah.
And then so let's get back to how the TOB started, because now I'm almost thinking your choir background helped with all those backing vocals you guys do.
Yeah, and a lot of listening to Bad Religion.
Oh yeah, there you go.
With those gang vocals that are like choiry.
So was it? Yeah, for sure. Almost like Dropkick Murphy style, or
sure, yeah. But a little bit more melodic. Like I feel like, and I love Dropkick, but they're a little bit more like oi 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 gang vocals, and where Bad Religion's backup vocals, especially in those first 4 records, you know, Against the Grain, No Control, like All Ages, or Suffer, and then what are all featured on All Ages. You hear like a lot of first, 4th, and 6th harmonies, and then a lot of 1st, 3rd, and 5th harmonies, which are just essentially a power chord. But power chord, I guess, is 1, 3, 8. But the idea is that it wasn't just like everyone singing one line; it was multiple people singing in harmonizations behind the main person. Which, I mean, I'm certainly not the first person to incorporate that, and neither was Bad Religion. I mean, that's you know what the Beatles did. You know,
well, but, it's a really cool. It's almost like something you don't get with punk rock all the time, and you go that extra length. And I wonder if it almost came about like, okay, you naturally sing in the 6. You naturally like that's how they shaped it.
I'm sure it was kind of.
Like, I mean, just sing how you normally sing. Okay, that's where you are, and then
you're in this. Well, that's the register. To resort it back to choir, it was the same idea as like when you tried out for choir, our choir instructor would have you sing a particular song, and then he would write down, okay, I think you're a bass, or you're a tenor, and for me, he's like, you're a baritone. And then for the women, same thing. And then there was one song that you had to sing, and then one that you got to pick.
Oh, cool.
And so you would do a private audition with him, and then he would kind of place you where he thought your natural register would be, so you wouldn't be straining for high notes or straining for low notes. And that's, essentially where you should be.
When I think a lot, especially when you're not serious about singing it, you almost like want to sing out of your range, because especially like depending on who you're influenced by, you want to sing like what you hear. Right. You know what I mean? So you're like,
oh my God, you want to hear a piece of garbage? Listen to that. Shout out to not Shaka Khan, dude. That Shaka Khan NBA All-Star National Anthem is the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen in my entire life.
I don't know if I got that one. What about the Roseanne Arnold one? The Roseanne Arnold. Have you seen that?
Oh, Roseanne crushes it compared to Shaka Khan. No, and Roseanne grabs her fake balls and spits on the field. I remember that.
Yeah.
It was a national.
I have to see this now. That's funny. All right. Let's get back.
Dude, please, for all your listeners, please look up Shaka Khan National Anthem 2020 All-Star NBA game. Because
this recent. Okay, cool.
It was like yesterday, dude.
That's why. Yeah. Okay.
And do you remember when Fergie did it? And it was like the worst thing ever.
Yep.
This makes hers look like fucking Andre Bocelli, dude.
Wow.
It's one of the worst pieces of shit I've ever seen in my entire life.
And she's like really up there. Why would she even?
She has 10 Grammys. I'm not saying she doesn't have a good voice, but it just didn't pull through.
Maybe she used to have. I don't know. Whatever. But
yeah. Well, anyway, moving forward.
That comes back to that consistency thing of keeping your voice.
Yeah.
They might have, as you get older too,
Yeah. Well, and she's trying to do like the trills, like the when the whole you're like, oh my God, dude. Even like the faces on the NBA players are like, what the fuck?
Like, why? Yeah, that's funny. I gotta see this shit now.
Yeah, it's good. Please look it up after.
Okay, so you're doing this. You're doing your Sonoma County thing.
Yeah, so I finally I met a good buddy of mine in college, Mr. Brian Kreitz, and he, after we both graduated, he started playing bass for me. Mm-hmm. And then, kind of a long story short, we slowly picked up members. Mr. Tony Gibson playing mandolin. We were playing with Jake Shevitz playing guitar for a while, but he left the band pursuing like wine and some of his own independent photography, which is amazing. I think it's like JakeShevitzphotography.com.
Oh, cool.
And our buddy Sweden playing the banjo, and Mr. Andrew Hobbs, who you got to speak with earlier. Say hi, Andrew.
Hi, Jacob.
What's up, buddy?
He's off mic. Or I'm really a ventriloquist. But yeah, so he was playing pedal steel, and now actually, 2 or 3 nights ago, we were just playing a gig together up in Willits, and he's playing some keys for me again, which is fun.
Nice, man. And who joined? So it's you and your buddy. Yeah, he's always been. You guys are like almost the most I think he might be the most energetic, the bass guy.
Yeah, and we look a lot alike too, and like people used to like call him Brian.
You could tell you've known each other a while. Let's just say that, which is good.
Yeah.
So who joined like first officially? Was it mandolin?
What's that?
Who joined like first after you two?
Oh, that would be Tony. We met Tony at an open mic night, actually, and he was playing with his girlfriend as like an open mic act, and then we were headlining. So it was like Brian and I were headlining the open mic night, and Tony was one of the open mic people, and he played this song called Portland, which blew Brian and I away, which is actually featured on our newest record. It's really cool.
Hell yeah.
It's the one song he wrote on the new record. So Tony joined the band, and then Sweden joined the band. Andrew joined the band. We were a 5-piece for a while. And we made T.O.B., the second record, which is just called T.O.B.
Right. When did that come out?
2004? No,
that's got to be
2014. Excuse me.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So I must have got it like you guys released it shortly after I met you. I want to say it was like still
right,
fresh.
13 or 14. Yeah. Because I was a little ashamed that it took 4 years or 5 years to make another record. It was like Hangovers and Hospitals was 2008, and then it was like 2013 or something like that. That was.
Yeah, that's why I said in the little intro that after I got that CD from you, it like became the CD that always plays when my phone's about to die. So
really,
that fucking album was like on repeat, like so many times coming home. I fucking loved it, dude. Like it is.
I'm glad you like it, but now
it's a great one that you could, you don't skip a song always.
Really, that's all. Was that the T.O.B. record, or did you get All Hands on Deck? Really?
It was wait. It was the one. The one. Fuck. Now I'm drawing a blank here.
I know them.
It's the yellow and brown one. I don't know.
That's T.O.B.
Yeah, the classic shit.
That's what we're talking about.
You got the Cash song thing.
And
Saloon and
Yeah, okay, cool, man.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that you dug it that much. That's fucking awesome. Thank you.
Well, yeah, it just like became that thing. It kind of is like funny after you like it repeats 4 times. And you're like, the phone's dead. Right. But it was like a good one to keep it going. You always have some albums like that. They just like somehow are in the car. Because I don't know how many CDs you carry around, but
I've got
that was a classic one, dude.
Yeah, thank you. And actually, Andrew, who you were talking to earlier, he does all the pedal steel on that.
Oh, sweet. And then you guys, I think you told me you recorded that with the Highway Poet guys?
Yeah. That was recorded with Taylor James at Rusty Dog Studios at 2 different locations, one in Petaluma and then one in Sebastopol at his house.
What's I think one of them got a hold of me for the podcast. What's the other guy's name?
Sebastian St. James, maybe?
That's who it was, yep.
Sebastian's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah,
he's great. He's kind of like Petaluma's like hero in music. His family's awesome. He's awesome. He's been in the circuit since he came out of his mother's womb. Yeah, he's a great guy. I love him.
They're still going, right? Yeah, Highway Poets. They're like
Yeah. Poets are rocking. Yeah.
Almost family style band, and they got like so many different styles. I feel like.
Yeah, they've fluctuated. It's gone like punk to hard rock to rock to bluegrass to rock to now. I don't know. Now it's just anything they do is just really good.
Did they have a reggae thing for a second?
Oh yeah.
That's what I was gonna say.
Two of them had dreadlocks down in their ass for a while.
Oh, there you go. Right on. So okay, so that was 13 or 14-ish. Classic shit. So that's when I caught you guys. Probably you're kind of like almost you've been together a while, so your sound's really tight. And I think we both did. Well, maybe you guys did the year after Rivertown Revival, or I don't know. You guys were at least getting like a festival.
I think we played the same year because we play every other year, and then we try and play Railroad Square every other year. So it's like Rivertown Railroad.
Ah,
we don't saturate it too much. Sometimes there's a gap year or something like that, but
Josh still doing the thing, and
yeah, Josh is sticking with the Stitham. He's good. He's still kicking ass. I think he's primarily representing Sam Chase right now.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I think
I know he's personally managing him in a lot of ways, and then I know he still does the Crux every once in a while.
Yep.
And they're kind of a staple at the Rivertown Revival. I imagine they'll be there this year. But we played last year at Rivertown, so I don't think we'll be there this year.
Okay, so then what? So you put out another album recently?
Two, actually.
Oh shit, man! I need to stay up.
No, but they were kind of simultaneous.
Okay.
A long story short, I had. I guess this is a good story. So we released an EP that is completely recorded solo by me in my attic about 8 years ago.
Oh, cool.
And then we also released a new full studio album with the full band called All Hands on Deck. And that was released last year. And it's great.
Yeah. I've heard some of those songs for sure.
But the funny story is there's this EP is called Captain No Crew. And it was after... Technically, it was in between the recording of Hangovers in Hospitals and T.O.B. I just did it myself in my attic. And I had my laptop, and I basically did some research and said, okay, how much is this going to cost? I went to the music store, and I needed an M box. I mean, you know this, you're a guy. Yeah. Or you're a sound engineer, savvy dude. I needed an M box. I needed a good pair of headphones. I needed like a $1,500 mic. So I don't know. Hold on. So
those acoustic instruments.
And so I put it on. Well, I also played like 12 instruments on it, like piano, bass, mandolin, banjo, harmonica, like some percussion. Like it's a really cool record, and I wanted to do it right. So, or as right as I could. So I went and spent like $2,000. To get a mic and the M box and the headphones and anything else I needed to make this happen, and asked, what's the return policy on this? Like 14 days. I was like, all right, I have 13 days to make this record.
Oh, no shit.
I made the record in 13 days and I returned all of it.
No shit, you got it all back? Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know a guy from Illinois, Gary Moore, and he there's a place you can just rent really expensive mics for like I don't know $50 for the day, and that's
Gary
Moore the second.
No, I just used to know this guy Gary Moore. Used to
this is a pretty common name.
That's on the bridge where I live down the street.
No, he's a songwriter. He's a guy. No, that's funny. Same Gary. But
okay. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it just in case you fuck a mic up or something. But
yeah. So then you release that later.
Actually,
this All Hands. After All Hands.
The same year as All Hands. I brought it out like kind of simultaneously. But we promoted All Hands and didn't really. I don't want to say we shelved Captain No Crew, but it was not on our priority to promote. I'm just happy to have had it released.
Did you?
So we've got 4 full records.
Hell yeah! And did you like remix it or anything?
I did remaster it. Yeah. Cool. I mean, because it was almost 10 years later.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I was like, all right, well, geez, Louise.
Damn, I got to hear these, man. Like I said, I really like that one album.
Dude, once we're off, shoot me your address and I'll send you a little care package with some koozies and all the albums and stuff.
Hell yeah, dude! I'll do the same for sure. Yeah. Right on.
Yeah.
Shit, what the fuck else we gonna talk about?
I don't know, man. R.I.P. Kobe. Go Birdie.
Hell yeah.
That's all I got.
Bernie's representing Vermont, man.
Oh, no shit, man. Yeah.
He's a Vermonter. Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen?
It seems like the same thing's happening. They're trying to fuck him.
Yep.
Like I said, they already gave Buttigieg the same amount of delegates, even though he had more votes. And fuck, man, I don't know. Honestly, I think if they actually pull that shit and we're left with, you know, I don't fucking know, Bloomberg. I think Bernie should just say fucking run independent. He's been independent his whole career. 50% of the population didn't vote last time.
Yeah, they're not going to vote this time either.
But if Bernie's like, fuck it, fuck the Democrats.
Maybe.
I'm independent. I mean, what the fuck? It's like, dude, it honestly seems like it's like some conspiracy shit. The DNC wants to put the worst candidate against Trump so he can win. That's what it seems like.
They can't see past their own nose. It's like they don't realize that someone as revolutionary as Bernie could actually win and change things. They're like, fuck it, we have to stick with like the made man, i.e. Hillary.
Well, the thing is, it's like, dude, I'm all for women's rights and gay rights, but if someone like Donald Trump can win, then that means they probably can't. You know what I'm saying? If there's that many people exist that can make Donald Trump win, then there's enough people to be like, I mean, I think they won't allow a woman or a gay man to win. That's all.
Yeah, what we're tiptoeing around, and I think it is correct. And I mean, I hope I don't get any backlash from this, but like right now, the only person that can beat Donald Trump, unfortunately, is probably a white male.
Right.
And I'm not. I wish it wasn't that way.
Right. But it's like, the fact that he can still win, and it's a shit show, man.
Maybe we should.
I try not even to bring that in, but politics, because
well, God bless America.
Okay.
All right, cool. I'll leave you with this. The coolest thing I've heard recently was I was listening to some Hawaiian history.
Okay.
And do you know where this comes from? Like,
Hang Ten? Yeah, whatever. Yeah. I do that shit all the time.
I know, right? Yeah, me too.
Sarcastic, but cool, bro.
Yeah. Apparently it was, and maybe I'm wrong. Sorry if I fucked this up once. But in Maui, a bunch of surfers in the 70s, or I'm sorry, in the fucking way earlier than that, like the 30s or 40s, used to go down and surf in Maui, and there was a security guard, and they were still smoking weed, which was super, super shunned upon back then. And they would wave to him, and he was literally missing his 3 fingers in the middle. So he would wave back like, it's cool. Like, chill out. It's cool, man. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Holy shit. Are you kidding me?
I don't know, man. That's what I heard on a History of Hawaii podcast. So,
hey, if it's from a podcast, it's got to be real, man. I swear.
Don't trust a word of it.
That's fucking cool. I like that. That's a cool story. I've never been to Hawaii. That's another state I haven't been to.
Really?
One of the few. Yeah. I know you Californians are just like, that's your little bounce over vacation.
I've been to almost all those islands. Scuba diving. I love that place.
I mean, I've been to 47 states, but not
Arizona.
Alaska, Arizona, Hawaii. That's it. So I don't think I'll ever go to Arizona unless, I don't know.
Scottsdale's beautiful.
I mean, I'd like to see that northern area.
Just fuck Phoenix.
I mean,
one thing.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of shitty stuff about Phoenix. But
if there's one thing that people can take away from this podcast is go fuck yourself, Phoenix.
And honestly, I love New Mexico, man. I love New Mexico, man.
So Andrew and I also recorded 2 albums with Frank in Santa Fe. You know.
Oh, cool! Hell yeah, that's an awesome area. So you've been to like Taos and Range. Oh man.
Yeah.
Been to the hot springs out there? Any of those natural hot springs?
What's that?
Been to the hot springs out there?
No, unfortunately not.
Shit. Yeah,
or at least I didn't.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, quickly. How long? When did you join Frankie Boots? Or is that
Andrew? When did we join Frankie Boots?
You Frankie.
7. What?
7 years ago? I don't know. He's been gone for about 2 or 3. So we were in the band for about 3 or 4 years, give or take.
And you guys, that was kind of like your first kind of nationally touring thing?
Yeah, that was definitely our first, or at least mine, and I think Andrew's first national tour. Frank, and the guy's a sterling musician, and he did teach us to kind of get out of town, if you will.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
To like actually like realize that you can travel across the entire country and make it back without being in the red.
Yep.
You know, you're not gonna be famous and you're not gonna be rich, but like you can put in the work, and that starts putting in some footholds. And I mean, I would not be where I am without kind of Frank's a little bit of paving the way. So I got nothing but love for him.
That's a cool. I mean, traveling, especially with the band, it's a cool experience, you know. And
yeah,
it's always just good to.
It smells a little different, tastes a little different.
Oh, most definitely. I think it's just good to get to see other scenes, you know, like kind of be exposed to, and there's just so many different, you know. I mean, like I said, Sonoma County's just spoiled with music and original music. There, you guys got a lot of stuff because you know you can find the cover band thing pretty much anywhere USA, but you guys really like they value the original.
There's a scene, and it's like I've thought many times about trying to maybe replant myself as a musician somewhere, and it's not all the people I know or the venues that I've connected with or the circuit that I have that would be easy. It's like I just feel like there's something magical here that the world hasn't necessarily discovered yet.
Yeah, dude. I mean, dude, it was super hard to leave there, honestly.
Yeah.
It was, you know, a little easy to pay less rent, but
yeah.
I lived like, you know, middle of the redwoods and shit. It was like a vacation home, so it was pretty pricey. Near the coast. Man, I loved it there, man. I loved it so much there. Like, fuck. I used to just drive to the beach every day and fucking.
Well, dude, anytime you're back in Cali, as long as I'm here, you got a couch with me and Andrew and our cats.
Hell yeah, dude! Sounds awesome. We'll set up a show or something, mate. Yeah, who knows? I get that. Anytime you guys want to come out here, do the fucking northern route tour, man. Do it in the summer.
I'd love to do it. Can I do some shameless faceless promos real quick?
Yeah, do it.
Check me out on Instagram or something.
IG.
Timothy O'Neill Gall. Timothy O'Neill Gall at Instagram, and if you want to be on the old website, it's timothyoneillband.com, which has all of our dates that are coming up. I think we've got almost 60 today for the new year, which should be cool. And then Twitter at Timothy O'Neill. So if you'd like any of that, I would appreciate any of the follows. Thank you so much, brother.
All right. Well, cool, brother. Good seeing you. Let's stay in touch. And so maybe I don't know, do it sometime in a couple months or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Live long and prosper. To all your viewers, thank you so much. And I love you, brother. It's always a pleasure to see you. We should do it again.
Fuck yeah, dude. Love you too, man. Peace. Right, good seeing you. We'll just stay. I'll talk to you in the near future, man. Thanks for being on.
Sounds good, buddy.
Peace, man. All right, guys, that wraps up the 9th episode of Music, the Universal Language Podcast. Thanks for Timothy O'Neill for being on. See you guys next time. Peace.